This is Ewebtutor tutorial. This tutorial is going to take you all the course that is necessary. What we are trying to say is that Ewebtutor provide a lot of resources for you, and each of these resources we are breaking them down into different courses that we believe at the end of all these courses you will turn to a professional in web development. After the courses created by Ewebtutor, we believe that you can design any website, because by that time you will have turned to a professional web developer. So right now there are free resources that we give you, and I will believe with these resources, by the time you finish using all these resources, then you have taken the steps to become the best programmer the world will ever know. Our resources is a document files. Each of these, the courses that we have five different courses right now. We have the PHP, the CSS, the HTML, the SQL, which is the same thing as the database, and we have the JavaScript. We are still going to include jQuery, but for now jQuery is still pending. But for now we have these 5 resources, and we have these 5 courses, and we believe at the end of these 5 courses we believe you have turned to a professional web developer. So each of these courses, each of them, they come with the following resources. They come with a PDF or a document files. They come with a video. So what happens is this: as you are reading the PDF file, there is a video that documents, that practices everything that you are reading in the document. That is, whatever you are reading, whether inside the PDF document file of that particular course or the Microsoft format of that particular course, whatever you are reading there, we are going to practicalize whatever you are reading there. That is, whatever content, whatever code that is present in that document you are reading, we are going to practicalize it in a video. So that means with the videos and the PDF you have much more knowledge about everything we are trying to talk about. You may not be wondering that why is it that why don't you go and download video in YouTube? The reason that makes our site Ewebtutor to be much more appreciated than YouTube is because YouTube, you can get any types of video that you want, but there is something you can't get. Those videos will now have a documentation. So it's either you download a video on about how to design, how to use HTML, but you can never get a document that will explain to you what that video, what it entails. And another thing from YouTube is, if you download a video that is being created by a person A on HTML, and you need to continue, you need to progress inside your training to CSS. If you want to get another CSS video, there is not the person A that is going to do the same CSS video. So it's another author, it's another person that is going to do that video. So this time around, this one, the person A creates a kind of the way he explains HTML for you, it gives you a kind of picture in his own perspective. But this time around you want to learn CSS, then that means you are learning CSS in another person's perspective. So that is why we come about the idea of Ewebtutor, so that we believe that with this Ewebtutor now, every courses that you need to learn for you to become the professional web developer, we are going to treat that courses from the beginner stage up to the advanced stage. So each of the course that we have contain a video, and we believe that as you are reading the content and you are reading the code, there is a virtual presentation, the practical of that particular course that you are reading. We have made the practical inside the video, and we believe we are practicing it, and we expect you that as you are playing the video, we expect that whatever we are practicing inside this video, you yourself, you are practicing it. And one of the things that makes Ewebtutor much more better than any other tutor website is because of in Ewebtutor, as we are practicing those we are practicing those code, or we are doing it, we are training, we are teaching you any of the courses inside the video. Every resources, every tools that we use inside those videos, like the hosting, www. All those domain name and the likes, we are going, once you register in Ewebtutor, we are going to give you all this. As you register, during the time when you immediately you submit the Ewebtutor registration form, automatically you have access to all these resources without paying any additional fee. So what I'm trying to say is this: whenever somebody wants to teach you, whenever somebody wants to teach you how to build a website, they always tell you that you need this, you need that, you need this, you need this. So everything you need, we are going to provide you. So whatever we use during the course of our training, we are going to give you all the resources. But we just know that after your training, after you finish learning everything you have to learn on web development, all the resources that we gave you, we are going to delete it. So this time around, after you learn your training, we expect you to go and buy your own resources in case you want to do further. You want to start developing your own website, your own personal website. Maybe you want to monetize it. Maybe you want to do designing a website that people will be paying for your service inside the website. So we expect you that you can use your own money to do that. But during the course of your training, we are going to give you all the resources free. So how do we start? How do we get started? The Ewebtutor official site, where we expect you to register for you to have access to all our resources, is ewebtutor.com/tutorial.php, or you go to ewebtutor.com. After you get to the ewebtutor.com, you scroll down the page and you click on, under the Ewebtutor tutorial, you click on learn more. So either you access the link directly by going to ewebtutor.com/tutorial, or you access it the other way. So right now, as a first time user, we expect you to first register. All you need to do is click on registration form. Automatically it's going to ask you for a confirmation code. The reason it's asking for confirmation code is we want to know, maybe you purchase any of our CD, because if you purchase any of our CD comes with a confirmation code, and that CD that comes with the confirmation code, if you use the confirmation code, you are required to pay 500 naira for this registration fee. But if you do not have a confirmation code, then that means you are not purchasing our CD. That means you want to download our resources online. Because what happens is all our resources is present online, and also is present inside the CD. The reason we make sure our resources are inside the CD is because we discover that we have a lot of videos and a lot of materials from HTML down to the database aspect, and we believe if we ask you to download it online, it will cost you a lot of money. So that is why we did it inside the CD, so that to economize the kind of amount that you are going to spend. So we're not giving those people that purchase our CD, we are giving them a bonus. So if you purchase the CD and you have your confirmation code, then you are going to pay 500 naira. But for those users that doesn't have a confirmation code, they are paying 1000 naira. But in my own example, I want to download the resources online, then I don't have a CD. So all I will just do is I will leave this confirmation code empty since I don't have a CD. Then the next thing is I'm going to input my name, my email address that I want to use to register. So once I input, then I'll ask it to proceed. So since the reason I'm charged 1000 naira is because of what? It's because I did not use confirmation code. So I'll just ask you to buy now. I'll click on buy now. So I'll be directed to the place I'm going to pay. So you can use your Vogue Pay to pay, you can use your InterSwitch to pay, you can use your Visa or your Intransat. But in my own example now, I'm going to use my InterSwitch. for my I'm going to use my InterSwitch to pay. InterSwitch means I want to use my Visa card, ATM card to pay. So if you want to use your ATM card to pay, all you need to click is InterSwitch, then you click on proceed. So after that, you are expected to supply your email address again. So I supply my email address again. So if all is well, it will ask me to select my card. So I'm using MasterCard. You can select your Visa card, your Vive card there. I will select my MasterCard. So it will ask for my card number. I'm going to press it. Sorry, I will press it. Then it will ask for the expiring date of my card. Then the username of my card, the expiring year of my card, and the CCV2. You can find it at the back of your card. It's a 3-digit code at the back of your card, and your ATM pin. So you click on pay, and if everything works well, it's going to give you the reason you are seeing transaction fee is because I do not have up to 1,000 naira in my account. That's why you are seeing transaction fee. But if I have 1,000 naira, or if I have up to 1,000 naira in my account, then I will see something like transaction succeed. So it will not tell me to continue to the merchant website. You understand? I will going to see transaction succeed. So it will tell me to, that means I have already paid. So it will ask me to continue to the merchant website. So when you click on this continue to merchant website, then it will bring, are you sure you want to continue to send this information? You've already paid, and it has told you that transaction succeed. But the reason you are only seeing this transaction failure is because I do not have up to 1,000. So make sure that whenever you want to pay, make sure you have up to 1,000 naira on your ATM card. So if all is well, you just click on continue. Then it will now take you to the page whereby you are going to put all other information for Ewebtutor, and you click on register. So let me show you the page you are going to see if all is well. So if all is well, if you see something like transaction succeed and you click on continue to merchant website, then this is the page you are going to take. You are going to direct. So you are going to be directed to this page, and it will now ask you for other information. So that's why we say it's step 2. So step 1, you have paid 1,000 naira, or if you have the confirmation code, you will pay 500 naira. So after then you choose a login. So but note one thing, this login serves like a domain name, your website. You will not really understand this right now, but when we start to use it, you will understand. So right now, look at this, what we have now. We have http 173.25, but this is your IP address. So slash whatever login that you put here. So if you put Ade, then Ade is going to be here. So that login just acts like a domain name, like all this www.google.com, www.yahoo.com. So whatever login that you want to use, you just have to put it here. But if somebody have already taken that domain, it's just like a domain name. When you purchase a domain on www.yahoo.com, 2 people cannot have the same domain name. So if somebody has already purchased that domain name, it will tell you that you can't use that domain name, that you should choose another one. So the same thing happens to this login. If somebody have already taken the login, it will tell you that you can't use it. But for right now, I want to create another login. Let me call it, I want to create another login. Let me call it, what can I call it? Orange. Let me call it orange. So if I create orange successfully, my site will now be http 173.254.125.233, and this symbol log orange. So that is my website. So right now my first name is Ola, my surname is Ola, occupation is student, my phone number is 08161749362. My password, then my email address is Ola. My email address is ola@yahoo.com. I will retype it. So if all is well, if there is no problem with my registration, then it will take me to the success page. But note one thing, it tells me that thank you Orange, I've already created, your account has been created. However, this requires account activation, and activation key has been sent to the email address you provide. Please check your email for further information. But note one thing, this page has not finished loading. This page has not finished loading. he has already created a Ewebtutor account, but now he now needs to create a cPanel account. You may be wondering that what is the meaning of cPanel account? It has not finished loading because it has not finished creating a cPanel account. You may now be wondering that what is the cPanel account? cPanel account, every site in the whole world, whether www.yahoo.com, www.facebook.com, every site has a cPanel, and that cPanel means what? Control panel. Every site has a panel where they used to control them. So every site in the whole world has a control panel. So when you register in Ewebtutor.com, we try to give you a control panel, so that whatever somebody that owns is www or facebook.com can do, you yourself you can also do it. Because right now facebook.com has a control panel, you yourself you have a control panel. So right now cPanel is a control panel whereby when you have a site you always have a control panel. So right now we are giving you access to a control panel, so that you will not be like, I want to learn website design but I didn't have money to buy a web host, a domain name, and now will I do it, and I want to design, I want to learn this thing. So right now we are giving you everything that somebody that purchase a domain name and a hosting, everything they will have, which is the same thing as the cPanel, we are also giving you. So you have seen everything has been done. So until you see this message, and at the end you will see account creation complete, account creation okay, done. So this time around, this means that your hosting account has been created successfully. So but all the information that is present here, please just save it. It's very, very important. This information that is present here is very, very important. So with this information now, your IP address is here, your domain name is orange.com, your domain name is orange.com, your IP address is there, then as CGI, yes, you have CGI, your username is orange, this is your password to cPanel. Note, the password that you enter when you are registering is different from this password. This password now is used for you to, whenever you want to access your cPanel. But the cPanel the password you entered previously is only when you want to log into your Ewebtutor account. So right now this is your own root, then this is your name server. You may not really understand what name server is, but later you will still understand. But just know the only thing that are important here is just your IP address, your username, and your password. These are the three things that you need that are very, very important. So this is a cPanel. So remember, anybody that have a site, they always have a cPanel to control the sites that they have. So right now, remember now, it creates two things for you. It creates an account in Ewebtutor, and it also creates an account in your it also create a cPanel account for you where you can access your. So before we start, the first thing we have to know is this. Now you have registered successfully, you need to activate your account so that you'll be able to log into your Ewebtutor account. How do you do that? You go to the email that you supply during the course of your registration. You are going to receive a message from Ewebtutor. You click on the link and it will tell you that you have activated. So if all is well, the next thing you need to do is you go to your admin area. So with this admin area now, you can now have access to, with admin area, you can now have access to your account. But note, you must first confirm the account. So once you confirm the account, then with your username and your password. Note, this is a password that you use when you are registering. It's not the password that they gave you when you create the cPanel accounts. So you are going to log into your accounts. So if all is well, so you are going to go to your profile. So this is the IP address to your cPanel account. This is your domain name. So and this is the cPanel URL. So look at the three things inside your Ewebtutor account: your IP address, your domain URL. So anytime you want to access your site, you access it via this URL. So you can know this URL first. So instead of saying www.markets.com, this is what you can use to access your site. So all these are all the files I have on my sites. So instead of saying, normally when I create a login, normally the account I use when I'm teaching you how to register is very different from this account. This is my own personal account, Markets. When I create my login, it is markets.com. But right now, Ewebtutor is not using the domain name. We are going to use the IP address in accessing your site. So if you press market.com, it will not open your site. But this now, with this IP address now, you can access your web page. So if you just create if you just register and you access your domain name and you access your domain URL, what you are going to see here will be empty, will be blank page. But right now it's not. I didn't just register, so I've been working on my site, so I've been working on my domain name. That's why you have all these files there. So right now, if I want to access my cPanel, all I need to click is what? Click on this cPanel. So click on this link. This is cPanel link, my cPanel link, and this is my domain link. So this domain name is what I will give my site visitor or your friends that want to check your web page. This is the domain name you give them. Don't give them this one, because this one is where you will be able to control your domain name. You'll be able to control your files. So you have to give them this, because with this they can only access it. They can't change anything, they can't modify anything there. So when you click on this cPanel URL, then it's going to take you to this page. So it will ask for your username. So I've told you during the course of registration, they sent an email to you. They sent a message to your email that will tell you about your username. You are going to receive an email that looks exactly like this. Let me show you. So you are going to see a email that look exactly like this. No? Okay, we are going to see an email that look exactly like this. So here now, so you are going to receive an email exactly like this. So this is your activation link that you activate, you use in activating the other time. But this is the email that we sent you. In this email now, your cPanel account, your Ewebtutor account login details is there, and your cPanel account login details is there. So here now, you can retrieve your username and your password. So in my own example, my username is market for my cPanel, and my password is this. So make sure you use your hand to type it so that there won't be any error. So you click on login. So this is an example of a cPanel, and this is the same cPanel that Facebook is using, Yahoo is using. So but there are a lot of things in this cPanel. I believe as time goes on, when we are going to do a video that will explain to you everything in cPanel, we are going to do a video that will explain to you everything in cPanel. But for now, just know that the major important thing that we are going to talk about right now is number one, the files and the database. The file and the database. So in the file, the file manager, every files that you design, every web page that you design, you upload it under the file manager. You use the file manager to upload it to your server. I call this cPanel, I call it a server. So every file that you have designed, maybe on your system or anywhere, you make use of the file manager to upload it to your server. So let's click on the file manager now. Go. Can you see, these are the files that is present in my site. So if somebody goes to my domain URL, the file they are going to have access to is what is present inside my file manager. So whatever you place inside your file manager, your user is going to have access to it. The reason this is just displaying all the files in your site is because you have not created a first page. If you don't want something like this to be showing, like Facebook, if you go to facebook.com, you will not see something like this showing. You just see their first page that will be showing. Just know the first page of any site is always index.any program, the name of the programming language that you may be using. So if you are using HTML, note the first page of any site is always what? Index.html. So you discover that there is no index.html page here. That's why you are not seeing anything, as you are not seeing any files that covers. You are not seeing, or you are seeing all these files that you have on your server. But if you don't want to see all this, let's do something. Inside our file manager, let's create a new file. Let's call it index.html. Let's create. Inside the index.html, let's try to edit it. We'll just say HTML edit. Edit. Okay, let me just say let me just put this is our first page. So then the next thing is I'm going to save. Sorry. So I will just click on save. So it said successfully saved the file. So I've saved the file now. So by the time you go back to your domain URL, you should see your first page. Can you see? Can you see? And that now that I did not have, it did not list all the files in my cPanel. Not list all the files in my cPanel. So that means whatever you design inside your own index.html page is what your user are going to see. That's the first page you are going to see in your website. So just note, if you don't want your site user to be seeing your first page, to be seeing all the files inside your server, make sure you have a what? You have an index.html inside your file manager. So if you have your index.html inside your file manager, so whenever any of your web visitor, whenever they access your URL, then it's that first page that is going to display. So it's not going to be displaying all the other links on your file manager. So that is about file manager. So with this file manager now, you can upload any files that you've, any HTML file, any PHP file, any web page file that you have on your system, or your mobile phone. You can upload it to your file manager. So right now, that's about file manager. So another thing that we have here is the database aspect. Under the database aspect, we have the PHP admin. So it's used to administer your database. So that means whenever a user, like right now in Ewebtutor account, you create your account. After you create your account information is stored inside Ewebtutor database, and that account information that is stored inside Ewebtutor database, whenever you want to log in now, is that same information that is stored there that you retrieve. So that information that you supply when you are registering is already saved inside Ewebtutor database. So how can Ewebtutor, how can they access this information? Then they can access it going through the what? PHP admin of your cPanel, of their cPanel. So that means if you create a site that requires registration form and a login page, whenever you want to see how many users have logged into your site, have registered to your site, or the data or the details of your site visitor, then you can access it via the PHP my admin. All this we are still going to talk more about it. This is just an introduction to introduce you to everything that we have. So but at the end of this, by the time we start all these tutorial courses, then you are going to wonder, whenever we need the database, then we are going to talk exclusively on database. So but for now, we are just trying to introduce you to the cPanel. So we have a lot of other things in this cPanel, but for now we are just going to limit ourselves to this. So but right now, after each of the course, we have HTML, PHP, CSS, JavaScript. From HTML, before you go to your CSS, you are going to write a test. So if you pass that test, then that is when you can proceed to the next section. So what do we refer to as this? When you log into your Ewebtutor account, when you click on your start tutorial, all the courses that you have, at first is only HTML that will be active. The CSS, the JavaScript, the PHP, the SQL is going to be inactive. So HTML is the only one that is active. So once you click on HTML, it's going to take you to the HTML tutorial. So this one now is the only benefit here in order the HTML tutorial homepage is if you did not purchase our CD. But if you have purchased our HTML CD, you don't need to download the PDF. You can either download the document, the PDF, and the video. So if you know that you have PDF enabled mobile phone or enabled PDF system, you can just download the PDF. Don't bother about the document. So whatever is inside the DOC file is the same thing that is inside the PDF file. So all you just need to do is download one of these two, and you download the MP4, the video that will interpret them. So whatever that you find in either of these documents or the PDF, whatever you found there, the practical aspect of it is inside the MP4 format. So you download one of these, either of these, and you download the MP4 format. So right now we have the HTML introduction, the HTML basic tag. So these are all the things we are trying to teach you, but you need to download all these things. But in case you've already purchased our HTML video, as in our HTML CD, no need of downloading this thing again. So just open those CD one by one, following the trend, the HTML introduction, the HTML basic tag. Just open the CD one by one and study it, learn whatever you can learn there, and after you learn it, come back to the HTML tutorial homepage. Then all this project script is also already inside the disks that you purchase. But in case you did not purchase the disks, please make sure you download this video one by one. Download them. First, download the HTML introduction, read the PDF file or the document file, watch the video, understand everything that we are trying to pass across. As you are watching the video, be practicing it on your server. We have taught you everything you need to do on that. So be practicing on your server. Once you finish the HTML introduction, go to HTML basic tag, continue like that up till the project. So once you finish the project, the next thing you need to do is to take a test. And how do you take the test? Once you click on take a test, it's going to open. It will ask you to enter your Ewebtutor username. You are going to supply your Ewebtutor username. Then it will ask you to select the present level that you are. In this example now, I am in HTML, so I will put in my Ewebtutor username. Then I will click on ask for test. So immediately I click on ask for test like this, automatically Ewebtutor is going to be notified that somebody wants to take a test, and we are going to set up the test. We are going to set up the test with you, and once the test we get back to you via your mobile number, or we get back to you via your email address, and we are going to tell you the procedure. So after we giving you the test, we are going to supply you all the information about the test, everything you need to do. After you do it, if at the end of the day you score more than 50%, automatically by the time you go back to the start tutorial, instead of seeing HTML only active, then your CSS also will have been active. So you will study the CSS code again, every tutorial, every material we have on CSS, you will finish studying it. Then you will take the CSS code, the CSS test. After that, once you pass, then the JavaScript link will be open to you. It will be active to you, like that, up to the SQL. So at the end of SQL, we are now going to issue a certificate for you. So we are going to contact you on that, based on that. So the certificate can either come from our Nepal branch, or come from our China branch, or come from our Nigeria branch, depending on the one that you wish. But whether it's from Nepal branch, whether it's from Nigeria branch, or from China branch, if you call any of our representatives there, they are going to confirm that you are truly a registrant member of Ewebtutor. So that is just about our tutorial. So each of these courses, we have record them inside the CD. So you can get a CD, but if you can't get any of our CD, then you can come online and download the video. But we believe that the video will be too expensive. All the materials that is here will be too expensive for you. So it's better you get our CD. And you also, in your certificate, there will also be a commission if you get our CD. The amount you are going to pay when you want to get the certificate, it will be lesser than somebody that doesn't purchase the CD. So that's just on that. So I believe I've talked about all this. So right now, if you want to practice, it's not even the HTML tutorial alone. If you want to practice any of our courses on a mobile phone, these are the tools you need. You need to access to Ewebtutor Mobile FTP. I've already explained to you the cPanel FTP. The cPanel FTP is the same thing as cPanel File Manager. I've explained to you how you get here. So, but instead of passing through, because when you talk about cPanel File Manager, it's not all mobile phones that can open this File Manager, because this File Manager, it has a lot of JavaScript. So some mobile phone will find it difficult to open it. So that is why we create our own FTP, our own Ewebtutor FTP. So whether you use our own Ewebtutor FTP, everything that you want to upload to your file, or everything you want to upload to your server will still be uploaded here. Whether you use the cPanel file manager, everything you want to upload will still be uploaded here. So it now depends on whatever one you want to do. So if you want to use our cPanel, our Ewebtutor FTP, all you need to do is you have to go to this link. You have to go to this link. So this link is going to ask you for your hosts, which is the same thing. It can be your IP address or ewebtutor.com or localhost, depending on whichever one that works. But the one that will always work is your IP address, and you can get this one from the home page, from your Ewebtutor admin page. So this is your IP address. So all you just need to do is copy this, paste it here. Your username, my username is market and my password is this. So I will click on enter. So once I will now click on www directory. Once it logged me into your FTP account, you can see what you are seeing here is the same thing that you are seeing here. So what you are seeing here is the same thing as what you are seeing here. So what I'm just trying to say in essence is this: whether you use the Ewebtutor FTP to upload your file, or whether you use the cPanel FTP to upload your file, all the files you upload with these two, they are still going to your server. And whenever your site visitor visits your site, they are still going to have access to those files. So, but the reason we did this Ewebtutor FTP is just because we want to do something that a mobile phone will be able to operate. Because it's not every mobile phone that can access the cPanel file manager. The cPanel file manager is the same thing as your FTP. So it's not every mobile phone that can access that. So that is why we try to create a mobile version of FTP, and we call it Ewebtutor FTP. So with this Ewebtutor FTP now, what you can do with this, you can also do it with this. Like right now, here now, I create a file. I name it what? I name it index.html with the cPanel file manager. I can also do the same thing with Ewebtutor file manager. What can I can just say, okay, create a file. What's the name of the file? Let me just call the name of the file a.html. Then it will bring the text editor for me to add the content. So if I don't feel like adding anything to it, I'll just save. So the file has been created. By the time I go back to the list, then I will see a.html. Can you see a.html? So if I refresh the cPanel file manager, if I refresh it, can you see it's refreshing? Automatically a.html is there. So that means whatever you do in your Ewebtutor FTP account is also applied to the cPanel file manager. So that's just about FTP. So we talk about the Ewebtutor text editor. How do you access this? When you go to your Ewebtutor FTP account and you have any of your file, you want to edit the file, all you need to do is click on the file. Automatically to open a text editor. Can you see this is a text editor? So whatever code you place inside this file is going to be stored inside a.html. So I can go back to this www directory and I can click on any file. Like this file now is function.html. If I click on it now, it opens this code for me. So that means the code that is present inside my function.html is this, and I can use this text editor to edit it. So the cPanel file manager also has its own text editor, but note, it's not every mobile phone that can access the text editor of cPanel file manager. So that is why it's very important for you, whenever you want to edit your code online, please make use of our Ewebtutor FTP text editor. So all you need to do is, once you get your www directory and it lists all your file, you can click on any file you wish to edit and it will open a text editor and you can start editing your code. Or another way you can do it is, in case the file is not here, it's not already created, all you need to do is click on create new file, type the name of the file that you want to create. In this example, I want to create the name of the programming language. Then I'll click OK. Immediately I click OK, it will just bring a situation whereby I can write a code to that file I just created. I can write a code, whatever code I want to put inside b.html. Then after I finish, I will click on the link save, and it will save this code inside b.html. But in the cPanel file manager, when you create a new file, let's create a new file, c.html, it will first create the file. So if you want to edit this file now, you are expected to first to open it. But the same thing is not with the Ewebtutor FTP. With Ewebtutor FTP, when you create a new file, automatically to just take you to where you edit the file. But the cPanel file manager is not like that. It allow you, it first create the file, then it will now allow you to now act to right click, and you should now press the code edit. So with this code edit now, you are going to, it's going to open an editor for you where you can edit that code. Can you see? An editor has been opened for you. So with this editor now, you can edit your code. So you can see that, you can see all the things that comes with the editor. So it's not even mobile phone that can open this kind of thing. So that is why with this kind of editor is very, very okay for you. So that's why we say that there are two ways you can access our tutorial. You can use our tools. The first way is accessing it by mobile phone. The second way is accessing it by system. So another thing that I told you about is the database. I told you about PHPMyAdmin. PHPMyAdmin. When you come to cPanel, you have access to your PHPMyAdmin, where you can see those people that are registered in your site, all their information. You'll be able to see it in the database. We are not really going to go into deep into it, but for now, just know that the PHPMyAdmin is not all mobile phone that can access the cPanel PHPMyAdmin. That's why we create our own version. And how do you access our version? You access our version via this URL. Note, these brackets should not be there, so I'm going to delete the bracket first. So I'll delete the bracket. So you access it via this URL. So it will ask for the username, which is the same thing as your cPanel username. In my own example is market. My password, leave this information like this, and leave this, all this information like this. Just change the username and change the password aspect of it. So you are going to supply your password, the same thing as your cPanel password. So if all is well, it will log you in. Can you see? It will log in. So this is the only table I have, but I'm not really trying to explain to you about database right now, because by the time we start talking about database, I think that should be in SQL side, SQL course. By the time we'll talk we'll talk exclusively about the database aspect. But for right now, I'm just trying to introduce to you the links to accessing our Ewebtutor PHPMyAdmin. So this is a mobile version of our PHPMyAdmin now. So with this mobile version now, whatever you can do with the cPanel PHPMyAdmin, you can also do it with what? The mobile version of PHPMyAdmin. And whatever you can do with the Ewebtutor FTP FTP, you can also do it with what? The file manager. So whatever you can do with file manager, you can also do it with Ewebtutor FTP. So right now, just know the link for you to access our mobile PHPMyAdmin is this link. So, and if you want to access the web version of PHPMyAdmin, you need to go to your cPanel by following this cPanel URL, supply your username and password. It's going to take you to the page, and you are going to click on PHPMyAdmin. So whatever we can do with this mobile PHPMyAdmin that you are seeing the cursor on, you can also do it with the cPanel PHPMyAdmin. So that's just on that. So instead of going to the following link, that is these three links on your mobile phone, you can download our Android application. So if you download our Android, in case you are using Android phones, so instead of you going directly to all these links now, everything is you can find everything inside our Android application. And this is the download URL for our Android application. All you need to do is copy this download URL, then go to the URL, so can you see this is our Android application. So you can click on this link, automatically it's going to ask you, but make sure you open this link on your mobile phone. So you just go to this link on your Android phone that you want to install it, then click on this link. Once you click on it, it will download the Android application, then it will ask you to install it. So once you install it, automatically FTP is here, mobile PHPMyAdmin is here. So instead of going directly to the link to the FTP and the mobile PHPMyAdmin, so in your Android application, then you can access our FTP and our mobile PHPMyAdmin directly. So I believe I've explained all this section. And if you want to practice this tutorial on your system, first thing you are going to need is a test editor. And I've already explained to you the test editor of the mobile version. So but if you are using a system, you can use a text editor, maybe you can use Notepad. You can see that this Ewebtutor FTP, Ewebtutor text editor, this is text editor. You can find the text editor inside the Ewebtutor FTP. So this is the text editor. You can see that this text editor, it's more or less like a notepad. So but if you don't want to use the Ewebtutor FTP for your text editor, you can use a normal notepad, a normal system notepad for you in case you are using a system. A normal notepad, you can edit your code with it, save your code. Then you can also use Dreamweaver to edit your code and save it on your system. You can also use testpad. So this is the download URL for testpad. So but if you use a system to download to edit your code, if you use a system as a text editor, how do you get that file that you have edited? How do you get it to your server? It's very, very simple. All you need to do is, let's say for example now I choose a notepad. Let's say I use a notepad. Let's say I type my code. I save my code with, let me save my code on my desktop. Let me save it with clement.html. Let me save it with clement.html. So inside the clement.html, let me just say hello world. This is the content of this hello world. So hello world, let me save it with hello world. So I've saved this file now with what? With clement.html. This is the file, the clement.html. So right now, since I've used a notepad text editor, I've used notepad to save the file clement.html to my desktop. But I'm not going to need this file on my desktop. I need this file on my server so that my site user can access it with my domain URL. So how do I get this file to the server? You can get it in 3 ways. The first way is what? Is for you to go to your cPanel, then you go to your file manager, then you click on upload. It will ask you the file you want to upload to. Then you go to your desktop, then you click the name of the file you want to upload, which is what in this example is what? Is Clement. Sorry, Clement is Clement. You will click and you click on open. That's the first way. Once it's uploaded, to tell you that that's 100% has been completed. By the time you refresh this page, you will have seen clement.html. That's the first way. The second method is going to your Ewebtutor FTP. Go to your public_HTML. Then once you get to your public_HTML, you click on upload, the same to upload. Then you click on browse. Then you go to your desktop, you select the name of the file you want to upload to your server. Then you click OK. Then it will have been uploaded to what? It will have been uploaded to this. You will have seen it here. That's the second method. And the third method, right now, the reason we are using both the cPanel file manager or we are using the Ewebtutor FTP account is because the file we want to upload is not really much. It's only one file. You can also use them to upload like 10, 25. But in case you now have like 1,000 files, how do you upload that kind of file? We will be uploading them like this one. Now when you click on upload, you have to be browse 1, browse 2, be browsing every time you want to upload, and it has to be uploading one by one. It's a waste of time. The same thing with the cPanel FTP. You have to be uploading files one by one. But how do you upload files that are like 1,000, 1 million? How do you upload them in a go without even having to upload them one by one? And that is why we talk about the FTP. And that's the work of FTP. FTP tends to upload file, even 1 million file, to the server directly without having to do them one by one. All you need to do is this: you have to download any of your FTP clients. Whether you like it, you can use Vicilla. If you like it, you can use Core FTP. These are the download link. You download it on your system, you will install it. But note, FTP clients is only applicable to people that are using system. There is no version for FTP clients for a mobile phone. So if you want to upload something to your server on your mobile phone, just make use of the Ewebtutor mobile FTP, and you can always do that one by one. But for people that have a system and want to upload a lot of files to their server at once, they can use the FTP client. So either you go to this download URL or you go to this one. You use this, but I prefer using Vicilla. So whatever you can use Vicilla to do, you can also use Core FTP to do it. So but I prefer Vicilla. So how do I access my Vicilla? I've already installed Vicilla on my system. All I need to do is open Vicilla. Can you see? This is Vicilla. So it's asking for a host. Your host is same thing as your IP address. The same thing as your IP address. So let me copy my IP address. So it's first asking you to connect to the server before you upload the file. So my host is my IP address. My username is this. My password is this. Note, whenever you are using any FTP client, it will ask you for ports. Your port will always be 21. Just note that. Any port, it depends on, even if you want to open any other website cPanel, once you have their username and password, the port will always be 21. You supply the hosts, you supply your username, your password, and your port will always be 21. Then you click on connect. So if all is well, it will display all your files to you. But when you want to upload something, you don't upload inside this place, you upload inside your public_html or your www directory. You'll have discovered that when we open our FTP, it first takes us to this page. The first take us here. When we first open our FTP, it first take us to this place. Then we just click on www directory. That is why we are able to have access to this place. So whenever you want to upload your file and you want your site visitor to see it online, make sure that file is uploaded inside your www directory. So the same thing when you access your FTP, you making use of the FTP clients, make sure you open www directory. So your file that you want to upload now must be inside www directory. You discover that what is present here is what is present inside your www directory, even though you are using a file FTP client. So whatever file I want to upload now, I can get the file wherever it is. So if these are all the files I want to upload, look at how many are there. All I just need to do is I have to select everything by pressing Ctrl A. Then I will right click and I will click on upload. Once I click on upload, from this is my system. Note, this section that you are seeing now is the section of my system, and this section you are seeing now is the section of my server. So once I click on upload like this, everything that is present on my system in this page that I select is going to automatically transfer to my server. But if I want to retrieve something from my server, I want to retrieve it back to my system, all I need to do is whatever I want to retrieve, I have to select it. If everything, I will just press Ctrl A, then I will right click the same thing. Then this time around I will say download. So download means you want to download something from your server to your system, and upload means you want to upload something from your system to your server. Note that word. So right now I can communicate with my server. I can download things from my server and I can upload things to my server. So with FTP clients you can do things. So right now if I click on upload now, even if we take this file to go to the server, if it take it 1 hour, I don't need to be coming one by one and be doing it one by one again. Automatically it will just be going itself automatically. And once everything finish uploading, it will give me a message that will tell me that everything has uploaded successfully. So I don't have to be uploading those files. Like right now, upload Windows multimedia platform, upload it once, go and upload Windows NT again, go and upload Windows Vid Photo is a waste of time. And that is why this Ewebtutor mobile FTP and the cPanel mobile FTP is not efficient when it comes to uploading a big files. All this thing is just an introduction. We are still going to talk more about it during the course of the training. So I believe I've explained all and the last thing is the cPanel database management, which is PHPMyAdmin, which I believe I've already explained. I believe I've already explained this to you. The Ewebtutor mobile PHPMyAdmin, as in the mobile PHPMyAdmin and the online PHPMyAdmin. So what I'm just trying to say in essence is this: if you are using a mobile phone, you are going to use all these tools under this section to access your website. But if you are using a system, you can either use all these tools to access your website or you use this to access your website. You can use either of the two, but for mobile user, just make sure you use this to access your website. So And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the script slash the project. Each of these courses that we have, they come, sorry, let me log in. Each of these courses that we have, they come with, like HTML now, they come with a project. And that project is after we teach you everything we need to teach you. This project now will now contain all these sections. Like right now, HTML has how many sections? Section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. It has 7 sections. The projects, the MP3 format and the zip format is what makes it 9. But it has the normal section 7. So this section 7 now, everything that we taught you so far now, we now use it to create a project. That is to say, everything we've taught you from section 1 to section 7, we now create something that we will make use of all these things that we have taught you. So we now call it project. So all these things, the HTML table color, the HTML form, the HTML image and links, now we now combine everything together to create a standalone application. Then that standalone application, then we now call that standalone application, we'll call it a project. So that means by the time you finish your training, go through this project, understand what we are trying to talk about this project, watch the video, understand what we are trying to talk about, then practice it yourself. It comes with an example, a code. Run the code. You don't need to edit the code. Run the code. After you run the code, you can now edit the code before you take our tests. So after you take our test, then you'll be able to go to the next step. So that's just about projects. So if there's any information that you have, or you find out that one of this link is not accessible, please just click on contact us and contact us and send a message to us. We will be gladly reply. So thank you so much for being there. So for other inquiries, like I said, you can contact us. Thank you so much. Bye.